Today's episode is brought to you by Wireless Zone, located in Dunn's Corners, Westerly, Rhode Island. Wireless Zone in Westerly is an authorized Verizon realtor. There you can find all the latest and newest phones, including the iPhone 13. And if you're in the business for a new phone, you can get up to $440 off your new phone with a trade-in of an old phone. And if you have a broken phone, they have a repair zone. There they can help repair your cracked screen. You need a new battery. They have you covered there in the repair zone. Check out Wireless Zone in Westerly, Rhode Island, located next to the Dunkin' Donuts in Dunn's Corners. All right, on today's show, I welcome on a reoccurring guest. He's Tedrick Wilcox. He's a guard now for St. Francis University, Brooklyn Terriers. How you doing?
Pretty good, can't complain. How are you?
I'm doing well, man. So happy to have you on the show again. A lot's changed since the last time we spoke. Last time you were in the transition to go to St. Francis, and now you're playing. How is everything going over at St. Francis?
Pretty good. I mean, there was a bit of an adjustment first getting here, but didn't take too long to adjust. And ever since, just been looking to make an impact every day on the floor.
That's awesome. I mean, how is it to, living out living your dream and playing Division I basketball?
I mean, it's a lot of stuff that I imagined, and then there's a lot more to it that you wasn't expecting, that like behind the scenes and the extra stuff that comes with it. But it's definitely been fun. Everything I've ever wanted.
That's great. So when you move up to Division I, and I mean you played at D2 and you make the adjustment to Division I, is there any adjustment to that speed as well too to the Division I? What's that like?
I mean, I feel like that's the biggest adjustment. Like not necessarily talent wise, because I feel like there's literally talent everywhere. The adjustment was like the physical, like the speed, the strength, athletic ability. Like at the Division II level, I was probably one of the most physically gifted from my size. Like I had a good speed, jump out the gym, like athletic ability. And then I come here and it's people that can jump just as high, people that run just as fast at my size, people stronger than me. Like, so it was really like a physical adjustment that I had to get ready for. But once I got used to that, it was no problem.
That's awesome. How did you get used to that like physical adjustment? Did you like work out, or did you just have to get like used to just playing at that?
Yeah, like part of the adjustment being here, we literally preseason lifted every day, and then regular season, like during the season, we lift pretty much any chance we get, like twice, 2 to 3 times a week. So me, divisions at Dominican College, we literally never lifted. Like weight room was optional. High school, I'd never lift. Like only time I ever got a chance to lift was in the summer with my own training, but that was mostly working on like explosiveness and balance. So it was really my first time getting like a real lift session in every day, like a routine, a regimen going, and honestly helped me for the most.
That's awesome. Did that add bounce to you? Do you think it add more bounce to your game with all the lifting and everything?
I mean, maybe not necessarily making me jump higher, but like helping me be able to jump in areas I couldn't before, like needing less steps to gather, needing less space to gather, stuff like that. Just being able to like explode up, get up quicker in small areas.
That's great. That's awesome, man. And two, like there's another adjustment as well as when you make the jump to Division I, you have to adjust to new teammates. What's been the adjustment to your new teammates, getting to know them, and how did you create that chemistry with them?
I mean, that's probably one of the biggest adjustments. Like you get comfortable in a place, and now you got to go meet a whole new group of guys, whole new family, basically. So that was an adjustment at first, but I think now that we're starting to finally get it, come together, really learn each other, and like click together as a family, that's really what's making us get better as the season goes on.
That's great, and that's great for yourself. And now for yourself, you're playing Division I. You're averaging 10 points and 6 rebounds per game. What's it like for yourself to see that like make your way into the starting lineup too? What's it all like to see that all come together?
Like I said, it's been everything I ever dreamed of. Like this is stuff I thought about ever since a kid. So now that it's actually happening, it's surreal. But now it's just time to make the most of it, I guess. Like can't just be here. Got to show why I belong here.
That's awesome. Yeah, so it's great to see. And I mean, you've also like become a sniper in shooting. I mean, you're shooting 48% from the 3-point line, and you're shooting 50% for field goals. What adjustment is that? Like, how did you make that? Like, you're shooting the ball crazy.
I mean, if you check my first 2 years of college, I shot pretty well. I think I was like 38 my freshman year, and then last year I shot 47 from three. So, I mean, it's not really anything new. I kind of just been getting better as the years go on. I didn't expect to come out and start the year this high. I think at one point I was up to like 57% from three to start the year. Now that we in conference play, they scouted me a little bit, but I mean, like I said, just been making the most of my time in the gym, and then on the court when I get open shots, just got to knock them down.
That's great. And then what's it like too for yourself? You've been able to step onto big stages, playing Wisconsin, Penn State, and St. John's. What's it like to play against those teams and go into those arenas?
I mean, like at first, it's definitely something like it's a lot to take in. You get in that big arena, you see a bunch of fans. Like Penn State game, there's literally fans in the student section screaming my name, waiting to get my attention, like stuff like that. So that stuff's cool, but you got to just take it all in and then forget about it. Like remember why you're there. You're there to play basketball. Like these are your opponents, so you can't really admire them too much. I went from seeing teams on TV to playing them in real life. So just had to embrace it all in for a second, and the next second get ready to compete.
That's so cool. It's got to be such a cool experience too, like that first time stepping on the court too, like in Wisconsin. Or did you play St. John's at MSG, or did you play them?
No, we played St. John's at their campus.
At their campus.
Yeah.
What was it like just to the Penn State, the people yelling at you and make that adjustment? Like, what was that like?
Yeah, Penn State. I was telling my father that was a pretty fun experience. You would never expect something like that. Like I didn't expect anyone in the crowd to know my name, and they literally were screaming Tedrick, like layup lines, all types of stuff, like waiting for a reaction. And in the game, like just trying to distract me, knock me off my game. Like it was fun. It was cool.
That's
really
definitely
cool. A cool experience.
That's such a cool experience. It's gonna be awesome. Did they say anything, like dig up anything that you did, like on Twitter or anything? They say anything to you?
Nah, like I remember during warm-ups at first, like they would apparently they was reading our roster because they're going down the list and they're screaming out names and waiting for like a certain person to look up. So once they match the name to every face, that's just in the game they would use it. I guess like guys would be at the free throw line and they screaming your name, like just trying to distract you, all types of funny stuff. You airball and the whole crowd is screaming the airball, blah blah blah, like screaming your name. They were basically letting you know about yourself.
That's so funny. And then at St. John's too, I mean, you had a great game at St. John's. You had 19 points against the Big East team, a Power 5 school team. What was it like just to go in and show yourself out in that game?
That was definitely a fun experience. It started off just knocking down the open looks I was getting, and then we started playing through me, got hot, kept knocking them down, and we was in a good game. I mean, it was unfortunate that we lost it at the end the way we did, but definitely just showed the type of team we could be, how well we could be, and we can match up against those bigger teams.
That's great. And then you had a career high 27 points against Central Connecticut State. What was it like to play? Like, what kind of zone were you in that game? Was that the game that you had like 20 points a half or something like that?
Yeah. That was another game. Just like I remember, they helped defense a lot. So our guards drive, and our guards did a great job of finding the open kickouts when the defense collapsed and helped. So they left me open a couple of times, and like I said, just making the most of my time in the gym, knocking down the open shots. So knocked down a couple open ones, got hot, took a couple heat checks, knocked those down too, and had myself a pretty good game. Like I said, I wish it resulted in a dub as well, but we let that one get away from us at the end.
Yeah. I mean, you've had some great games, and, your team's playing, pretty good basketball, and you guys are playing pretty well. And but I mean, it's awesome to see you show out on a bigger stage. And I know that I think our last conversation too, I think a lot of people don't see that with Rhode Island as well. And you're just trying to show out for Rhode Island, and it's awesome for yourself too, to prove yourself. And it must be great for yourself to be able to prove everything and play Division I basketball.
Definitely. Like I said, coming from Rhode Island, you always kind of considered an underdog. People don't really expect much from you, not even your own peers. Like Rhode Island got a problem with the crabs in a barrel type mentality. So it's good to be able to show some of the kids that it's definitely possible to make it out, do something for yourself, and give them something to look forward to, like a dream for them to chase.
Yeah, definitely. I always quote you in some of my podcasts, and I talk about Rhode Island basketball players because of our conversation, just like the way you have that chip on your shoulder, and how you really just want you showing out for Rhode Island does have talent. And it's pretty cool to I always just quote you or bring you up in a conversation because it's very true, because you're always the one that I think that really shows that chip the most.
Definitely. I think that's another thing that another people have credit me for. That's one thing that's known. I'm always going to bring that fight, that grit, that, like you said, that edge, that chip on my shoulder.
Yeah.
That's been me since day one.
I love it. It's that pride that you have too. It's awesome because I think it just shows the type of person you are and the type of player that you are, because you're a great player, and it's don't you don't want to be overlooked.
Definitely.
That's awesome. And then, so you played at Bryant, man. And what was that feeling like to be back in Rhode Island?
That was almost like the Penn State, Wisconsin type of vibe. Like I'm getting to play a Division I basketball game in front of my home fans. Like I don't know if you got to see the video on the news, but like there's somebody in the crowd holding a fat head. Like that's my mother at a Division I basketball game holding a fat head with me. Like so it was fun to be able to play in front of that type of crowd. Like it was a packed gym out there, and I don't think anyone was necessarily there for Bryant or for St. Francis. It was just the fact that we had two Rhode Island kids playing on the Division I stage, like against each other. So that was definitely a fun experience. Got to play in front of the crowd. I mean, another game I wish resulted in a win. It would be a whole lot funner, but definitely a great experience.
Yeah, yeah. And what's it like to play against Erickson's team on the other side and play him? I mean, you guys faced each other in high school. What's it like to face each other in Division I court?
I mean, yeah, me and Erickson been playing against each other or playing with each other since, as far as I can remember, like middle school, maybe even elementary. Like I said, it's Pawtucket. It's a small area. We grew up together. So for it to go all the way from way back then to the Division I stage was definitely like a dream come true. You dream against playing against your childhood friends, and to play against them at the highest level, just something unheard of. It was unreal, but it was fun.
That's awesome. And what do you think about the other guys in Rhode Island too that are also doing it? Enoch Cheeks, Sebastian Thomas, Tyler Kolick, all those other guys, also playing Division I. What's it like to see those guys as well?
I'm just glad like Rhode Island's finally getting a chance to show themselves, showcase their talent. Like I keep up with all the Rhode Island athletes, everybody that's like doing their thing in Rhode Island. So it's pretty fun to see everybody thriving, doing their thing. Like Tyler, probably my favorite player to watch. Enoch, I talk to him all the time. Sebastian doing his thing. So like it's just fun supporting Rhode Island and seeing Rhode Island thriving.
It's so cool. And then what's it like too? Because I know he's part of the big team, Isaiah Miranda, to see him now in the top 20, top 30 and the ESPN rank in his class. What's it like to talk to him and keep in touch with him?
I mean, Isaiah's growth honestly makes me happy because he's a kid like we lived 5 minutes away from each other growing up. Like I knew Isaiah since we were both in elementary. We went to the same elementary school. I had some classes with his sister, well, not with her, but like she was a little bit older than me. Like I'm real cool with the family. I know them. So to watch Isaiah grow and become what he is today, just like, wow, like I'm more happy for him than I am for myself because I really watched him come up from nothing. Like I remember my senior year of high school before I even went into college, like Isaiah, I worked at the Pawtucket YMCA, and Isaiah was a kid even back then. I think he was a freshman. He was in the gym every day. Like I'm at work during shifts and we would play one-on-one. We would try to dunk on each other. Like I think he was only like 6'6" at the time. We was the same height. So like, and then to watch him just blossom into 7 feet and now he's almost a household name. ESPN top 30 is just amazing. Like I'm happier for him than I could ever be for myself. That's just great.
It's so cool. It's awesome for him, and it's really cool. And then it's great. And then now they're playing the Kanye West's academy. I guess the Springfield Academy is. Like I saw that recently. That's gonna be pretty cool as well.
Definitely.
That's awesome. And then now you got a game at Sacred Heart, and then you got a big one coming up at Wagner. So what's it like to prepare for those two teams? I know Sacred Heart's a good team in your division, and Wagner's undefeated in the division. What's it like?
I mean, going into these ones, you just got to take it one night at a time, pretty much. It's about like, I feel like with this whole conference, like you said, Wagner's the one, they undefeated. And then there's other teams that goes to the bottom. But realistically, it's whoever comes to play that night. Like, I feel like anybody can beat anybody any given night. So when the time comes, you just got to lock in, be prepared, know your assignment, know personnel, study the scout, and give it your all on the court.
That's awesome. Yeah, definitely. That's a good point. And now for yourself too, you guys also, I'm sure you guys do a lot of film. What's it like to sit in those film sessions? What's it like to break down film? I mean, you told me last night too that you had to film. So what's it like to break down film and everything?
I mean, you got to just be able to go into film open-minded. Like they're going to tell you about yourself. They're going to tell you what you did good. You're probably going to hear a lot more bad than you do ever hear good in film, like, because it's obviously to learn and get better. So like you said, you just got to be going open-minded, be able to take constructive criticism and be ready to learn.
Yeah, definitely. That's awesome. So big games coming up this weekend. I'm excited to definitely got to catch them on. What channel can we catch them on?
There's an app for the iPhone. Well, it should be on Android too, but NEC on the Run. Or if not, I can send the link to the NEC website. But from here on out, the rest of the games should be on the NEC network.
Awesome. Yeah, I'll definitely have to check it out. I want to ask just a couple more questions before we sign off. I mean, you're in Brooklyn now. Is there I know there's always good sandwich shops to see on Instagram. Have you checked out any of the food scene down in Brooklyn or anything?
I mean, the area that we're like downtown is more of a tourist area. So like you would have to to get the real experience, I guess, you would have to get into like somebody's hometown. Like you would obviously want something more like homey. It's like made with love. So I haven't really got that experience yet. We got a pretty busy schedule, but I've tried a couple good food places around the area.
That's awesome. And then what's it been like to travel the country and get the experience and play at a team? Has it been like a favorite place you've really enjoyed so far?
I mean, we was in Florida for Thanksgiving. I think I was a little upset missing Thanksgiving, like the home cooked meal, but I was literally on the beach Thanksgiving Day while everybody else is back home in the cold weather. So I couldn't complain about that one too much. That was a pretty fun trip.
Yeah. Too bad you weren't like down on the beach during during this cold front that we're having now.
Yeah, I wish. I hate the cold.
Do you really? Yeah, it's not fun, man. I'm not a big fan. I'm not looking forward to the snowstorm on Saturday.
Me either, at all.
Yeah, it's not going to be a good time. Has there been, any cool like experiences with players and things that you've really enjoyed with your teammates?
I mean, probably with Larry. Like a lot of people know, like Cheese Larry from Instagram. He makes all the trick shots and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
when we in the gym in between practices, like working out, stuff like that, you see him trying to do the stuff he does on Instagram and you watch him doing it in real life. It's like, all right, wow. Like, at least I know it's not fake. Like, it's a little amazing, Obviously, I feel like everybody wonders, like, no way, how do you do it? It's fake, this, that, and the third. And to really see it happen, it's like, oh, wow, that's cool.
That is really cool. Do you ever get behind the camera for him and film?
Now, usually I try to compete against him. When he does something, I'm like, I could do that. It's light, but it's not as light as it looks. I can't lie.
That's awesome. Well, Tedrick, this has been a lot of fun, man. I'm so happy for you and like what you're doing and showing out and living your dream and playing Division I basketball and only bigger and greater things to come from here. So it's just great to have you on the show and catch up with you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Of course, anytime. All right, I got one more question for you. I thought about this before we signed off. I want to ask you this question. How do you become a member of the Big Team?
Man, I can just tell the Isaiah story, honestly, because that explains it best. Because like most of the members, the original members, they probably no longer play. It was people I was in high school with. But like originally when Big Team started, it was kind of a little bit of a trendy thing. A bunch of people asked, and you just tell them like, yo, you be consistent, you keep doing what you're doing, like, and we'll notice you. So like Isaiah, for instance, like I said, I knew him since he was a freshman at Tillman, and he was asking me for years, can I be Big Team? Can I be Big Team? Like, what I got to do to be Big Team? And I'm like, bro, you just show me you really want it, and we gonna notice you. And then like Isaiah, just like I said, he lives in the gym. He's a hard worker, and he obviously blocked me what he is today. And then before it even got this big, like I just started seeing him get better and he really wanted it. I seen Isaiah one day and I was like, you're a Big Team, bro. Like it just happens. Like I feel like it's more of a lifestyle. Like the Big Team now, we represent a bunch of people that just work hard and refuse to let somebody tell us no. Like we just gonna go get our way. As you can see, that's exactly what Isaiah is doing. He refused to let me tell him no.
I love that. I think that's awesome. I was like, how did this start? I was always curious about how it started and how you become a member. I see that you're selling t-shirts. Where can you get the t-shirts for the people that are interested?
The link to the website is in my bio. It's also in the Big Team bio on Instagram. So you can definitely, it's very accessible. You can get to it.
All right, sounds good because I'm actually buying a Big Team shirt. I'll wear it till next time I come to a game or come to one of your games or something like that.
Appreciate that.
Of course, I always got support. I'll be a supporter of the Big Team.
Appreciate the support.
Of course. All right, Tedrick. Well, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
All right.